Have you ever noticed how people treat you differently when you stop needing them? At first, they're drawn to your strength. They celebrate it, maybe even admire it. But the moment that strength starts to outgrow their control, something shifts. They go quiet, then cruel. And soon, they try one last desperate trick to pull you back in. That's the pattern Carl Jung saw long before the rest of us could name it. He understood the shadow people carry, not just the part they hide from the world, but the part they hide from themselves. And when someone with a narcissistic mindset sees that you've become too strong to manipulate, too self-aware to be controlled, they panic. Because their entire sense of power depends on your silence, your compliance, your willingness to bend. But now, you're standing. Now, you've stopped explaining yourself. You've stepped out of the role they cast you in, and they can't take it. So what do? They go low, one last time, with one final dirty trick. This trick isn't loud. It's not always dramatic, but it's effective, because it plays on your deepest fears. Fear of being misunderstood, fear of being alone, fear of becoming the very thing you've tried to escape. The narcissist will start telling others that you've changed, that you've become bitter, selfish, cold. They'll say you're distant, you've lost yourself, that they're concerned for you, even while destroying your name. And here's the part that stings. Some people will believe them, not because it's true, but because lies are easier to digest when they come from someone who plays the victim so well. This is the moment Carl Jung would call the confrontation with the shadow. Not their shadow, yours. Because now, you're tempted to react, to defend, to fight. But this is not your war. This is their projection. They're not exposing your weakness, they're confessing their failure. They couldn't break you, so now they want to break your image. Because for the narcissist, losing control of you is the ultimate humiliation. You were supposed to orbit them, you were supposed to need them. But now you walk alone, and you're not looking back. So they throw dirt, they exaggerate, they twist your silence into cruelty, your boundaries into abuse. It's the last trick, a trick built on shame. Because they know you still care. That somewhere deep down you want to be seen as kind, good, fair, and they use that goodness against you. But here's what Jung teaches us. The moment you stop trying to prove your innocence is the moment you reclaim your soul. You don't need to chase down lies. You don't need to explain your growth to people who were never cheering for it. You simply need to keep walking. And that's the real threat. Not your anger, not your silence, but your peace. Your peace terrifies them because it proves they no longer have access. They can scream, they can gossip, they can lie. But you're gone. Not physically, not publicly. Spiritually. You no longer need them to validate your truth. You no longer require their permission to exist fully. That's what Carl Jung called individuation, the process of becoming whole. Not according to anyone else's script, but your own. And the people who benefit from your confusion, they won't like it. They'll call your healing arrogance. They'll call your silence dangerous. But don't be fooled. That's just fear talking. They're fear. Because you become something they can't manipulate. A person who has integrated their darkness and chosen light. Not the light that pleases everyone. The light that burns illusions. Because when you stop reacting, stop explaining, stop defending, you stop bleeding energy. And the narcissist, they starve without it. That's what the final trick is really about. It's not about hurting you. It's about keeping you engaged. One last hook. One last pull. But you don't have to bite. You can choose the higher road, not out of superiority, but out of clarity. You've seen the cycle. You've danced it. You've suffered from it. Now you're ready to step off the stage. Because your life is no longer a performance for someone else's applause. It's a quiet rebellion, a peaceful revolution. And as we go deeper into this journey, we'll unpack how to spot this smear tactic before it starts, how to stay emotionally anchored when your truth is being twisted, and how to reclaim your identity from the wreckage of someone else's story. Because this isn't just about narcissism. It's about reclaiming yourself. And the truth is, you were never too much. You were just too awake for their illusion. And they couldn't handle that. There comes a moment, so quiet, so still, that no one notices it except you. It's the second you stop reaching back. Stop wondering if you were too cold, too harsh, too distant. Stop asking yourself, because you finally understand it wasn't your job to fix what broke you. It wasn't your role to carry a love that asked you to disappear. That version of you, the one who stayed, who hoped, who tried, wasn't foolish. They were simply kind in a world that punished kindness. But there comes a time when kindness must evolve into self-respect. And when it does, the narcissist senses it before anyone else. Not when you scream, not when you fight, but when you go quiet and don't return. Because silence, to them, is louder than rage. It's the signal that their control is no longer working. That's what they fear the most. You're no longer explaining yourself, no longer playing their emotional chess game. You've taken your energy back, and that, to them, is war. Your empathy once fed them. Your forgiveness gave them extra chances. Your softness gave them a mask to hide behind. They loved the mirror you held up, but only when it made them look better. And when the mirror cracked, they blamed you for the reflection. But you're not broken. You're no longer trying to be understood by those who benefit from misunderstanding you. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." That's what this is. You've made the unconscious conscious. You've looked directly at the thing they wanted you to ignore. Your worth. They can't unsee that, and they hate it. So they use the only card they have left, the smear campaign. They twist stories. They spread rumors. They wear your name like a mask to gain sympathy. But none of it changes the truth. And the truth is this. People who truly know your heart don't need an explanation. They've seen your quiet loyalty. They've felt your love, your strength, your presence. You don't need to defend yourself against lies. You just need to keep living in truth. Because nothing threatens a narcissist more than a peaceful, powerful person they can no longer manipulate. Peace, real peace, is earned. And you earned it the day you decided your self-worth wasn't up for debate. You stopped sending long texts, stopped over-explaining, stopped trying to make someone hear you when their goal was never to understand, only to win. That's the real shift. Not walking away physically, but emotionally detaching from their chaos. That's when the healing begins. Not when you get closure, but when you accept that closure comes from clarity, not conversation. Clarity that says, I did what I could. I gave what I had. And now, I give to myself. That is your power. And in that power, there is no need for revenge, no need to respond to every whisper, no need to clear your name in rooms you've outgrown, because your silence isn't empty. It's full of wisdom. Carl Jung taught that healing isn't becoming someone new. It's becoming who you were before the world told you who to be. So when the narcissist comes back, and they will, with nostalgia, guilt, or pity, remember what it cost you to love them. Remember the nights you second-guessed yourself, the emotional exhaustion, the quiet pain, and then choose yourself. Choose the peace you fought for. Choose the future that doesn't require you to shrink. You are not who you were. You're not desperate. You're not naive. You're not lost. You are solid, rooted, aware, and that's why they couldn't keep you. Because when a narcissist sees you as too strong to control, too wise to manipulate, too self-assured to bait, they try one last dirty trick. Make you doubt the very strength that set you free. But it's too late, because you've already stepped into the most powerful version of yourself. The one who doesn't flinch in the face of manipulation, who no longer finds safety in chaos. You've rewritten the story. You've reclaimed your name. You've walked away, not in anger, but in alignment. Because what's for you will never require you to beg, break, or betray yourself to belong. This is your real beginning. You are the one they couldn't destroy. You are the one who became unforgettable. You are the one who healed. And now, you are the one who is finally, fully free. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to Cognit Haven, where your healing becomes your power.